Lindsey here with Truthatude, and if you have been paying attention at all to my channel or anything on my Instagram, you know that September is Suicide Awareness Month, and it is a huge cause that is very important to me. I've had my own struggles with suicide, and I just really think that it's important to acknowledge this and to spread awareness. And because we talk about real shit on this channel, and because I don't want everything to be doom and gloom on my channel, I thought that it was equally important to insert a little bit of balance and to talk about some positive things. So I'm also going to be doing a mini series called Rays of Hope. So there are a lot of blogs, there are a lot of articles, there are a lot of pieces of information out there that talk about how to have a great morning, magnificent mornings, the best morning ever, how to have a great day, and I love them. I think all of those are great, and I will be also sharing my 2 cents on those in the coming weeks. But I am a firm believer that great days begin with great nights. And if you have watched any of my videos, I am a huge fan of strategy and creating a plan and creating rituals. So today I'm going to talk about how to develop your nighttime ritual to have a great night and set yourself up for a great morning that will lead to a great day. The first thing I want to talk about is trying to plan your day the night before. So it doesn't have to be this complicated plan or this lengthy to-do list of all of the things. Maybe just narrow it down to the top 3 or the top 5 things that you want to accomplish tomorrow. And that way it's out of your head and it's not keeping you awake at night. The other thing that I think is going to be a little bit of a struggle for some of us, especially if you are addicted to your phone, is to unplug. And I mean turning off all the screens. That means your TV, your iPad, your phone, whatever, because there is science behind this. So the blue light that comes from all of these screens in our lives is designed to keep our brains active. It literally keeps us awake. And there is actually data that suggests it can interrupt your sleep. It can affect your ability to fall asleep. So turning off all the screens at least 30 minutes before you go to bed. I know that this might be a challenge for some people, but really scrolling through social media or watching endless videos or just having that in front of you or doing work, checking emails right before you go to bed really isn't the best way to end your night. So the other thing that I want to talk about is some of the things that I do in my nighttime ritual, which include journaling. If you do not already have a journaling ritual, I highly recommend beginning one. Even if it's something as simple as just writing down a couple of things that you're grateful for or a couple of great things that happened during your day, journaling is a good way to get all of those thoughts and all of those feelings out of your head onto the paper so that you can rest. Now, this is especially effective for people who are dealing with some kind of trauma or dealing with some kind of stressful situation in their life, or maybe they're dealing with depression or anxiety. I know for me, journaling has always been a safe space. I started journaling when I was 10 years old, and I literally have a chest full of journals that I've kept over the 20-some years of my life. And it's actually been pretty neat to look back and see how I've documented my life and the thoughts and the feelings that I was experiencing during every year of my life. It's really pretty neat. So just start some kind of journal, even if it's a couple of things. Now, there are writing prompts out there. Maybe you don't know where to start, or maybe you're not a writer. If you haven't already, I really recommend you check out this book by Tony Robbins called Awaken the Giant. In that book, he details 5 questions that I just love. I actually wrote down these questions and I keep them in my journal for days that I don't really feel like writing or I don't really have a lot to write about. I just use these questions to kind of guide my writing for the evening. And another thing, if you've followed my channel or you've read any of my stuff, you know that I will always, always, always encourage you to read. Pick up a book. There is nothing so rich as picking up a book and gathering new ideas and nurturing your mind with great thoughts. And I really think that this should be the final piece of your nighttime ritual, is read for 15 to 20 minutes right before you turn out the light. It's going to help you rest. It's going to make you tired, especially if you're not a reader. Maybe you read something informative, educational, or just something really interesting to you. It's a great way to end your night with something positive and something informative instead of all the garbage that you can, digest on your phone. So when you create rituals, I think it's really, really important to make them easy and make them enjoyable so that you stick with them. And don't try to incorporate all of these new rituals all at once right away. Start with one thing. So for me, it sounds kind of crazy, but a really big, important part of my nighttime ritual is making sure that I take my makeup off at the end of the night. I used to be so bad about sleeping with my makeup on, and then I was annoyed when I woke up in the morning because it was one more thing I had to do, and I had to look at my scary yesterday's makeup face. So one of the big things that I do is make sure I take my makeup off before I go to bed. I also make sure that I set up my coffee pot the night before so that my coffee, my heavenly little cup of goodness, is ready and waiting for me, and I don't have to try to fumble around the kitchen and try to figure out the coffee maker in the morning. Because if you know me, you know that I get up at 4:30 in the morning. Which brings me to my next point. Figuring out how much rest your body needs is so important. There's a lot of information out there that tells you how much sleep you should get, but really it's individual. So how do you figure out how much sleep you need? Well, the way that I did it was I started going to bed earlier, and if you're a night owl, that's okay, but you really do need to ensure that you're sleeping long enough to get enough rest, but also making sure you're still giving yourself enough time in the morning for your morning ritual, which I will cover in next week's video. So for me, I started going to bed 15 minutes earlier every day, and then also waking up 15 minutes earlier than I did the day before. And by doing that, I found my sweet spot. My sweet spot is 6 hours, no more and no less. If I sleep more than that, I'm super tired. If I sleep less than that, I'm freaking useless. So I'm 6 hours. And for some strange reason, it's 10:30 to 4:30, not 11 to 5 or anything like that. It's 10:30 to 4:30, and I'm a huge advocate of sleeping the same schedule all 7 days of the week. Because let's be honest, we sleep in on the weekends and we feel like garbage Monday morning, and that's because our sleep schedule gets off. So this is a huge, huge, huge part of creating your nighttime ritual, is figuring out how much sleep you need for your body, because when you get rest, you can be your best. I know that sounds super cheesy, but it's so true. And if you're dealing with mental health issues or you're feeling really depressed, part of it could be because you're not getting the right amount of rest for yourself. Maybe you're getting too much sleep, maybe you're not sleeping enough, and maybe you're not sleeping enough because your nighttime ritual is all out of whack or non-existent. Oh, I wanted to add too, one part that I really think is awesome and really helped me in my nighttime ritual is having jammies that I really loved getting into. I really love getting into my cozy, comfy little jammies and not just sleeping in a t-shirt or sleeping in gym clothes that I wore all day. I just want to reiterate, yes, I think all the information out there to have a great day and a great morning is awesome, and I will be covering my morning ritual and my day ritual in the coming videos during this Rays of Hope series, but I really, really, truly believe that great days and great mornings begin with great nights. So please leave me a comment. Let me know what your nighttime ritual is, or some things that you've added during the nighttime to help yourself get better rest and calm yourself down and be more productive during the next day. So if you thought this was helpful, leave me a comment, tag a friend, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Truthatude. And if you're not already, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I post a ton of content there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week.